Hold on, my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. We are still in section 2. Section 2 has a lot to it, so I really want to make sure that we're going slow and not making anything too hard too quick, So, here we go. We're doing just practicing what happens to A. So we know that A, if A is a 2, a 3, or a 4, the graph is stretched. That means it's skinnier. If A is a 1/2 or 1/3 or something like that, it's going to be compressed and that's fatter. So we did samples. We talked about this earlier, what the A does. And we have to multiply our Y values by that number. Multiply the Y values of the parent function by A. We are not going to make a basic table of values like we did for standard form. This is different. I said all last week, over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. Today, we're not going to go over 1, up 1, or over 2, up 4. We have to alter our numbering because I have now a 2 in front. And then tomorrow, we're going to combine it with H and K. So, we move over and up the new values from the vertex. Today, our 0, 0 location is going to be the vertex. Tomorrow, we're going to get a new vertex. So here we go. This is going to be my parent function that we did last week. 2 to the left, 2 to the right, up 4. One to the left, 1 to the right, up 1, actually. Over 1, up 1. And then 0, 0 just means our vertex point. So this is the parent function. Now, this equation has a 2 in front. So I'm going to answer this question. What does the 2 do to the quadratic? Look on top in the main idea section. What is a 2 going to do to my quadratic? It's going to be stretched. It'll be a skinnier parabola. So today we are going to graph the parent function, and we're going to graph my new. Okay? So here we go. My vertex is going to be 0, 0 because there is no HK. My axis of symmetry is going to be x equals 0. So in this table of values, it's going to tell me how to move. I look at my Y value and I multiply it by 2. 2 times Y. Here's my Y values. I'm going to now do 2 times 4 in this box. 2 times 4. Two times 1. 2 times 0. 2 times 1. 2 times 4. My new math, just go ahead and multiply it out. You don't need my help. I am going to move these movements that are highlighted. Over 1, up 2. Over 2, up 8. The 0, 0 just means that you keep your vertex where it is. My vertex today is 0, 0. Tomorrow it's going to move, HK. So I'm going to plot my parent function, and then I'm going to move the 2, 8, 1, 2. So my parent function is 0, 0. Over 1, up 1. Over 2, up 4. So this pencil is going to be my parent function. All right. So in both directions, this is what the 2 is going to do. Over 1, up 2. From my vertex. Over 1, up 2. I'm doing it a different color. From my vertex. Over 1, up 2. Over 2 in both directions, up 8. From my vertex, over 2, up 8. So look at my new red parabola. See how it's skinnier than my parent function? That's what the 2 did. The 2 made it skinnier. How are we on this? All right. You multiply the y values. Mr. Christian, are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to multiply the y values by 1/2. My parent function is -2 up 4. Over 1 up 1. Over 1 up 1. Over 2 up 4. But if I multiply by 1/2, this is going to be compressed. Fatter. My vertex is still going to be 0, 0, because if I were to expand this out, check this out. Y equals 1/2 x minus 0 squared plus 0. So there's no vertex movement. It's just at 0, 0. But we don't write the zeros. So instead of writing all this 0 stuff, we just write 1/2 x squared. This extra 0 is a waste of our time. So I'm just going to write 1/2 x squared. But at least you know that if I had to like full on make it long and detailed, that this is where the 0, 0 vertex comes from. My axis of symmetry is still x equals 0. So I'm going to graph parent function 0, 0. Over 1 up 1. Over 2 up 4. And then I'm going to do multiply by 1/2. 1/2 of 4. 1/2 of 1. 1/2 of 0. 1/2 of 1. 1/2 of 4. Okay. So 1/2 of 4 is 2. 1/2 of 1 is 1/2. 1/2 of 0 is 0. So I'm just doing the math. Move from your vertex. My vertex is 0, 0 because there's no H and K. In both directions. Over 1, up a half. Up a half a box is like halfway there. It's really like in the middle. See this? And then over 2, up 2. And it just gets wider as you go. See how it's wider than the parent function? The 1/2 makes it wider. Okay. What did the 1/2 do to the graph? Everybody tell me. Compressed my parent function. So fatter. What? Negative 1/2. What's a negative 1/2 going to do? What's the negative sign? What? So I'm going to say both the proper reflected across the x-axis and facing down. Okay. Negative 1/2. I have to multiply my y values by negative 1/2, which means my parent function is just this. Oh, it's -4 when it's a downward facing parent function. Because this is negative x squared. So these are going downward. Over 2 in both directions, down 4. Over 1 in both directions, down 1. Because it's a negative x squared that we're talking about. Downward facing. So now I'm going to multiply my... Oh, I did the negative already in this. Okay, check this out. I put the negative here, which means I'm just going to use the positive y values. So this is my normal parent function x squared. When I multiply by negative 1/2, that's what flips it down. So it's like negative 1/2 times 4. Negative 1/2 times 1. Negative 1/2 times 0. Negative 1/2 times 1. Negative 1/2 times 4. So 4 times negative half. What's 4 times negative half? Negative 2. You guys, it's the same numbers as up above, but they're negative. Half of negative 1, negative 1. Negative half times 1. Oh. Negative 1/2.
When multiplying a fraction, you have to flip it.
Inverse, reciprocal? No, not in this case. So here's my new movements. This is facing downward. What do I need to do? I need to draw these axes. It's really hard to see because they're not very... A black line on top of a black line doesn't help us very much. But Both directions. Parent function is just normal, upward facing parent function. But now I'm going to go and have it be downward and fatter. Downward facing and fatter. Over 1, down a half. Over 1 in both directions, down a half. Oh, let me do it in red. Over 2 in both directions, down 2. 1, 2, down 2. And this is fatter. And it's facing downward. So, you have 3 graphs for homework. Don't look at the board. This is period 2's homework. I changed it because the lesson was too hard. You guys are just doing 1, 2, 3. You're in blue. Period 5. And it's just the attached paper next. I need the table of values filled out. I want the parent function graphed. And the new graph graphed. Okay? Tomorrow we're incorporating vertex.